Hello, welcome back. Here's what's coming up in today's video. We're going to pick things up in Chiang Rai Province because it's been 3 weeks since we've seen Zelda and I have no idea if she's going to be in the car park.
I don't know if Zelda's going to be here. Hopefully she is. Hopefully she hasn't been stolen.
And just like any other next level adventure, I'm going to be sharing with you some beautiful places that we haven't seen before and that you need to put on your bucket list next time you come to Thailand. But I'm also going to be sharing with you something that I'm going through that's quite personal to me. And I can feel it, I can see it. It's making me feel self-conscious, making me feel down, it's making me feel ashamed, it's making me feel embarrassed. So yeah, lots of things to look forward to in this video. So sit down and relax, and let's pick things up in Chiang Rai and hope that Zelda is there.
Welcome back, and welcome to Chiang Rai. This is where we left Zelda 3 weeks ago, before I nipped home to see my family. And here is the most nerve-wracking part of this entire trip, because I've parked Zelda here in the airport car park for 3 weeks. It's a short stay only, and my trip got extended because I decided to renew my passport. Anyway, I don't know if Zelda's going to be here. Hopefully she is. Hopefully she hasn't been stolen or moved. Let's just hope that the bike is here. Okay, I'm gonna have a look for Zelda now. It might take me a minute to find her. So in the meantime, I just want to quickly rewind a couple of days because I want to share with you something fun and exciting that happened to me in Bangkok when I first landed in Thailand. And we'll pick up back here, hopefully when we've got Zelda. So yeah, if you watched the last episode, you'll know that I actually went back to the UK for 3 weeks to see friends and family. And now I'm back here in rainy Bangkok. The weather hasn't changed, the rains are still here. And I was invited to check out a company called Get Your Guide. If you've never heard of Get Your Guide, it's one of the best places to unlock unforgettable experiences whilst you're on the road. They offer over 60,000 curated experiences in more than 3,600 destinations across the world. You can easily organize tickets to top sites in most destinations across the world, or you can organize one-of-a-kind local tours. So the other night when I was at the hotel, I had a look on their website. And obviously you could get lost in all of the destinations that they have, but I specifically had a look at Bangkok, and I chose this tour that went to one of the railway markets and one of the floating markets, and I have to say that I was very impressed with the whole tour. We got picked up in the morning in a nice clean minivan, and we popped around to pick up a few other people. And then we were on our way. The first destination was the train station, and we got to ride the beautiful local train on this line that took us through the countryside towards the famous train market, somewhere that I've never been before, which was a real nice bonus. And yeah, it was really nice to see the train coming through the market, and nice to ride the train as well. Quite a unique experience that would have been really difficult to organize if it wasn't for Get Your Guide. And then it was back in the minivan for about 15 minutes to the floating market. I'd never been to this particular one. Yeah, very cool experience. It was flooded because of all this rain, so the shops were actually knee deep in the rainwater. I made a friend as well on the tour, another solo traveler from Brazil, and she's done a few tours with Get Your Guide before, and I was asking her, and she says she really recommends it as well. Okay, here comes the rain. So thank you to Get Your Guide for sponsoring this segment, inviting me to review their experience, and I do highly recommend the service. So yeah, thank you to Get Your Guide. Now I'm gonna get out of the rain, get on a plane, head up to Chiang Rai, and fingers crossed, Zelda is waiting for me. Right then, where is she? Zelda, where are you? It looks like it's been raining here a lot. Oh God, here she is. And she's wet and dirty. Oh God, look at this tank cover. Hey babe. I think what I'll do, because I actually have zero plan for today, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. I don't want to stay in Chiang Rai. I think I want to start making our way to the border of Laos. I might cross the border in about 3 or 4 days, depending on how much there is to see and do in places like Phayao, Nan, Phetchabun, and the provinces around the corner towards Nong Khai, where we're going to cross the border into Vientiane. Okay, moment of truth. Will she start? Hold on to your butts. Woo! The show is back on the road, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, what a feeling to be back on Zelda. I'd been waiting 3 weeks for this and it felt great. But obviously she needed a clean, so I took her here to Sumo Car and Bike Wash. Just googled it on Google Maps and found it on the outskirts of the city. The first thing they did was give her a good old scrub down and lubed up the chain, and then they got to work and blitzed her, covered her in suds, and just absolutely did a fantastic job. Took them a while, to be fair, but whilst they were cleaning Zelda, I had a chance to sort of like reorganize my bag and get things in order, because I'd been away for so long. I'd got a few new pieces of kit and I needed to decide where the hell we were going to go. Obviously we're aiming for Nong Khai, and we had to sort of avoid some of these flood warnings because monsoon season's been crazy. So I had to have a little think, like, where could we go? It was already late in the afternoon, but yeah, the bike, when it was ready, I've never seen Zelda look so beautiful in all my life.
I cannot believe how clean Zelda is. I've never seen a shine. Like, look, they even like polished her tires, and then they sprayed her with this mist. So now she's like gleaming. You are a babe. Highly recommend Sumo Bike and Car Wash. Cheers, lads. It did take a long bloody time though. It's now 5 to 5 in the afternoon in the beautiful Chiang Rai sunlight. So I don't really think we're going to be able to make too much ground. I was kind of hoping to get to Nan today. It feels so good to be back on Zelda, and she's never looked better, bless her. You sexy Zelda, you.
So with Zelda gleaming in the afternoon sun, we just hit the road, and I knew I had about an hour left before it got dark. And so I drove for an hour towards Laos. And as it started getting dark, I saw this little hotel on the side of the road, and I checked in. 700 baht. Can't argue with that.
We've made it to whatever hotel this is in whatever town this is. As you can see, it's already getting dark, or it's about to be pitch black actually. It always looks brighter on my camera, but just really quickly, I want to address something that I'm struggling with personally. So this is nothing to do with Laos or Thailand or my motorbike, but to do with me. And it's a problem that has been slowly creeping up, but I didn't realize it had gotten this bad. So I'm going to tell you what it is, and then how we're going to fix it. In a nutshell, it's my weight. You've probably noticed, because I bloody have, that over the past year, driving around a motorbike for a living, I've gotten fat. Fat bastard. You know, sometimes I look at the footage of me driving and there's certain angles where I'm like, oh my God, I just look so bad, so fat, so tubby, and so rotund. I mean, I'm not obese. According to my BMI, I'm not obese, but I'm overweight and I'm certainly unhealthy. For my height, I'm quite heavy. Normally around 75 kilograms, and that's me carrying a bit of weight, but I'm okay with 75. My dream weight, my ideal weight is 70. And I was 70 before I started this YouTube channel. I got addicted to the gym. I was going 5 days a week. I was doing so many classes and I loved it. I was active, I was fit, I was happy to take my shirt off in front of people. I wasn't ashamed and I felt sexy.
And I loved it. I loved being 70 kilograms. Then when I started this YouTube channel, obviously I'm on the bike a lot and I eat and drink beer a lot, and I just always find excuses not to stay active. You know, yeah, I climb mountains from time to time and I do things, but on the whole, I eat crap, I drink lots of beer, and I sit on a motorbike most of the time. And the fattest I've ever been was 80 kilograms, and I could feel it, guys. I could feel it. I felt sluggish, I felt slow. I didn't dare take my shirt off in front of people, and I was ashamed at being 80 kilograms. I just felt awful. And obviously I've just gone home for 3 weeks, so I've been drinking a lot of beer with the family in the pub. I've been eating a lot of home cooking, so I knew I was going to put a little bit of weight on. But when I got to Bangkok a couple of days ago and I was checked into this hotel and it had a gym, I saw some scales and I was horrified to know that I'm 84 kilograms. This is 4 kilograms heavier than I've ever been, and I can feel it, I can see it, and I can sense that it's making me feel self-conscious. It's making me feel down. It's making me feel ashamed. It's making me feel embarrassed, especially being on YouTube. I'd like to be in shape, but I've always made excuses. This is a perfect example of why I make an excuse. You know, I'm driving or traveling today. I flew to Chiang Rai. I got on Zelda. Things get delayed. The bike wash, for example, takes longer. You know, I don't want to go running in the dark. I don't want to get chased by dogs. I don't want to get hit by a car. The roads here are not good for running. There's no gyms. I'm in rural Thailand. It's not like I can just nip to Virgin Active and do Zumba class and go join an RPM spinning class or something and do weights. Very rarely I'm in a town or a hotel that has a gym or a treadmill. So the exercise I have to do is running. And at night, it's not pleasant, it's not safe, and I always make an excuse. And I never work out in my room because I just don't enjoy it. And then typically after a long day driving, I get some food, I get some beer, I work on the edit, and I go to sleep. And that compounds with being on the bike all day and not being active and eating crap and drinking beer. It's the reason why I've gotten fat over the steady course of a year and a half. So the first thing is I bought a smartwatch, and it's been tracking my steps, and it gives me notifications about when I'm being lazy. I've only been wearing it a couple of days and I love it. I've set myself a goal of 10,000 steps every day. Right now I've done 8,100 already because I did a workout this morning in Bangkok before I flew here. But I do want to top that up to 10,000. I might go for a little run because I've also set myself a goal to do 5K every day for the next 30 days. I've already done 3 in a row in 3 separate days, and I'm not going to be documenting this in my videos going forward, but I might show you snippets just to let you know how it's going. Now, if I feel like I didn't do enough steps or I couldn't do my run, I've also invested in some I don't even know what these are called. I think they're called resistant bands. I got them for really cheap, and I saw a few people on Instagram sent me a message saying that they're really good for working out in hotel rooms. And so I've been looking at a few YouTube videos. I think I can follow along with some workouts. So if I can't do my run, or I feel like doing this with my run, then yeah, I can still get a good workout and work on my muscles, because yeah, toning up is going to be important, and it helps with losing weight. And I also invested in some nice running shoes. These are going to be my only pair of shoes now. So they're Nike, what are they called? All Condition, and they're waterproof and kind of cool. Really good for walking, really good for running. I think it's supposed to be for trail running because the grips, like, you know, whatever. You see? Looks kind of cool, right? I love these, and they're great for running in. I've been running on the treadmill in the hotel in Bangkok for 3 days straight. 5K, no worries. Luckily, I still actually have a base level of fitness and I can run 5K quite easily. So, to sum up real quick, I am a fat, tubby little shit, and I'm gonna address it. And try to address it I did. I mean, this is a perfect example, guys. Outside of the hotel, this is the main road, no gyms, no lighting, dangerous, not the best place to run. So I obviously wasn't going to be running on the road, so I just decided, okay Paddy, no more excuses, and I just did laps of the car park. And I got my 5K in, and then I went out for dinner, and I had some cheeky fried chicken, sorry guys, but no rice, no carbs, relatively clean dinner really. and the soda water, and I chilled out for the evening.
This past time won't help me getting over it. I don't know what I'm bringing in closer. Yeah, I'm looking ahead, looking out for someone like you.
So obviously the next day in the morning, I thought, get up bright and early and let's make some moves. And after about an hour, I found on the side of the road on the way towards Nan Province, which borders Laos, I found this little national park which we'd never been to before. It looked really nice and I was really surprised that it was only 20 baht to enter the national park. I couldn't believe it. I mean, look at it, it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
So I think I know why this national park is only 20 baht, and that is because even though it's beautiful and there's a beautiful river meandering through this valley, there's some sort of nature trail here on this bridge that leads around the forest, but for some reason it's closed, and it looks like it's been closed for such a long time. There's so many leaves on the path. I think maybe they just stopped doing this, maybe in COVID. There is a beautiful waterfall which we'll take a look at now, but other than that, I don't really see what else there is to do here.
Do you know that in the entire time I've been driving through Thailand for the past year and a half, I've never mentioned the Department of Rural Roads. You see these blue signs everywhere. These are the unsung heroes in Thailand. Somehow, I don't know how they do it. They must have a crazy budget, but it doesn't matter where you're going in northern Thailand, Isan, the south, anywhere in rural Thailand. The roads are perfection. Silky ribbons. I mean, the tarmac rivals the Grand Prix tracks around the world. I'm not kidding you. You know, when I think of driving in northern Thailand especially, I think of bright green, luscious vegetation, blue skies, and then the contrasting yellow markings and signs on the roads, and of course the silky smooth, insanely beautiful and gorgeous to drive on tarmac. The roads here are just out of this world, and I've never actually said thank you to the Department of Rural Roads. So if you're listening, if you work for that department, thank you so much. You've made my life so pleasant. And yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in Vietnam and I was thinking back, like, why is Thailand the only place I've been so far where the roads are just outrageous, absolutely incredible. It's not just the surface, it's the views, it's the turns, the reveals of valleys and mountains in the distance. And you never really have to worry about traffic. I mean, no one's here. And the local Thai people who live in these rural parts of the world know that they can be connected from village to village, town to town by these gorgeous roads. And it's obviously no surprise that on some of the most beautiful stretches of these roads, you'll find gorgeous little cafes, just like this one.
Okie dokie, somewhere along the beautiful road here in northern Thailand, I found another little spot. Great spot for lunch. Have a look at this. Lovely bit of lunch, and I can see why this place is so popular. I mean, have a look at this view. I have actually been here once before, but it was in December and it was much drier and all the vegetation was dead or yellow, but it's right luscious and green today, this time of year, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And you know, I'm thinking, oh, I'd love to stay here for a night. You've got the little bubble rooms, and looks like they've even got some really luxurious wooden cabins with the bathtubs outside, but I just asked and they're all fully booked. It's an actual Thai national holiday. It's a 4-day weekend, so it's all been fully booked, unfortunately, but that's okay. We still have the privilege of driving through this place, and it was nice to stop here at this coffee shop. The link is in the description if you do find yourself randomly in this part of the world. If my maths is right, and it usually isn't, then I think if we turn left here, right, and use this dodgy little road, we might be able to go get a closer look at that limestone formation, which gives this area its je ne sais quoi, and reasons for those cafes and beautiful glamping spots to be there, because they're looking down upon it. But what happens if you get a bit closer? And I saw this rubber tree plantation and I thought, okay, if I turn left, there it should be, and look, there it is. Let's see what it looks like a bit closer up, shall we? Zelda's in her element as I'm getting smacked by bushes. She absolutely loves all this stuff. Uneven, rocky surfaces. Her suspension just eats it up, loves it. As we come through the tapioca. Hey! And voila. Look at that. It doesn't look as spectacular, I must say, from down here. I mean, the rice fields here are absolutely gorgeous. I love it at this time of year when the rice has grown and it starts to wilt and it's almost ready for harvest.
So for the rest of the afternoon, I drove another 150 kilometers back on the beautiful rural roads, and then I made my way into the town of Nan itself. I was pretty knackered. Wasn't really feeling going for a 5k run. So I found a local park, did a little workout there, got some steps in, and then I decided to wrap up the video.
Welcome to a random park here in Nan, in downtown Nan. This province is beautiful, but it's quite sleepy. This is the major town here, and this is the only park. I'm not going to do a 5k run to finish the vlog and to finish my day. I'm absolutely knackered. I'm just not match fit when it comes to driving for the whole day. It was supposed to be a half a day, but it turned into a 6-hour drive somehow. I think that always just happens when I'm out having fun filming and taking my time. Taking detours to look at tiny little waterfalls on the side of the road. Let me finish on a positive. I am going to do an hour and a half walk because I've got Talk Sport on, and that will be 10,000 steps, and that will be about 6 or 7 kilometers. See you in a few days. Thanks for watching.